Undeniable that in the last 2 days especially, we've had what is defined as flash floods. In flash floods, this is what happens. We have a very high amount of rainfall, and the rate at which the water is hitting the ground is higher than the routes, either drainage channels that are available, or the ability of the soil to absorb the water that has fallen on the surface over a very short period of time. As a result, we have higher than normal surface runoff. It is literally impossible to 100% mitigate those kind of flash flooding, because we rely on weather prediction, and even the weather prediction is not able to accurately measure the amount of actual rainfall that will fall. So even the most prepared nations still suffer from the effects of flash flooding. Is the government prepared? It is I'm absolutely sure that the Kenyan government, on the issue of the flash floods that occurred on Thursday night and Friday night, that the number one, the weather prediction in this country had gone out and disseminated information to Kenyans that Thursday was bound to receive the highest amount of rainfall during this short period of rain. And therefore, when the information is out there, and Kenyans have been told that this week, during this period of the short rains, which normally last about 2 weeks, this coming Thursday, we would have higher than normal rainfall across the country, would have the highest amount. Then the question of safety relies on the individual. It definitely relies on the individual, because the government cannot come and tell you, do not walk in the rain, do not leave the office, do not leave the house. And therefore, our decision making, individually and also sometimes collectively, because we saw people being swept away in matatus, we have to call it to question. Can the government be better prepared? Certainly we can be better prepared. And allow me to use the example of the Nairobi Expressway running all the way from Murolongo to Westlands, Nairobi, at Kabete. The length of that expressway, 3 lanes on each side, is the equivalent of a roof harvesting water during rainfall. The designers of our expressway never made any provision for drainage of water from our expressway. When was this designed? When was it conceptualized? How come the Kenya Engineers Board never raised that issue? How come the Architectural Association of Kenya never raised that issue? How come the Association of Physical Planners in this country, nobody ever raised that issue? So even as we want to blame government, I have come to ask this question. So who is government? If you and me are not government, then who is this government? And therefore the sense and the urgency of our collective responsibility as a community, as a town, as a neighborhood, as a nation, has to be called into question. Even as we want to blame Sakaja because he happens to be the current governor of Nairobi. But what capacity, what resources does Governor Sakaja have to correct the mistakes of 63 years of the existence of Nairobi in his 3 years as Governor Nairobi? Could he have done better? Yes, he could have done better. Governor Sakaja knows I have on occasion had to send him photos of a flooded section of a road that we call Woodville Road in Westlands. That anytime we have rainfall, over 1 hour in Westlands Shopping Center, Woodville Road becomes a moving lever. And all the businesses along that stretch, which is barely 400 meters, become incapacitated, including the Westlands Market, which is owned by the county government of Nairobi. On that one, there is a level of ill preparedness, a problem that has been existing and was only made worse by the flash floods. But I want to also thank both Governor Sakaja and His Excellency President William Ruto, that in the new cooperation agreement that was signed between the County of Nairobi and the national government, and the committee put in place, which is chaired by the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. In that agreement, there is a component of drainage. I am appealing to these leaders and that committee led by Honorable Musalia to prioritize mobilization of funds to expand the existing drainage network in Nairobi. Because we had NMS. Did NMS do anything about the drainage system in Nairobi? The problem did exist. And it's not just about NMS. In the era of the late President William Moi, we had the Nairobi City Commission led by Honorable Fred Gumo. So these are perennial problems that have accumulated over time. However, as current leaders, and that includes me, we cannot escape from the blame. We have seen the effects of climate change, the erratic weather. That has happened during our time. We cannot blame those who are there before us. We must prioritize our needs in a much more responsive fashion than we are currently doing. We still have an opportunity. The question is whether we have the willpower and the boldness to rise up to the occasion.
Mheshimiwa